Betty White, a true legend of comedy and television, captivated audiences, not only with her unmatched wit, but also with her grace, humility, and enduring charm. When she accepted the 2015 Lifetime Achievement Award at the Emmy Awards, her words reflected the heart of who she was. It is such a privilege. And the bottom line to the television business is that unless you're a real bad egg, it is such fun. It really is. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Those words capture the essence of Betty. Grateful, genuine, and full of joy. Let's celebrate her incredible life with some fascinating facts about this iconic star. Born on January 17, 1922, in Oak Park, Illinois, Betty Marion White Ludden grew up as the beloved only child of Horace, an electrical engineer, and Tess, a homemaker. At just 2 years old, Betty's family moved to Los Angeles, a city that would become the backdrop for her remarkable rise to stardom. Even as a young girl, she displayed a natural charisma that hinted at her future in the spotlight. By the late 1930s, Betty's captivating presence had already caught the attention of her peers. She was voted the best-looking female by her classmates, a testament to her timeless beauty and radiant personality. Before launching her iconic career in comedy and television, Betty worked as a model, landing early gigs at the Bliss Hayden Little Theater in Los Angeles. These formative years helped lay the groundwork for her extraordinary career, proving she was destined to entertain. But before Betty became a household name, she demonstrated her big heart and sense of duty during the World War II. She joined the American Women's Voluntary Services, an organization dedicated to supporting the war effort on the home front. Betty's role was anything but glamorous. She drove a PX truck, delivering essential supplies to soldiers. Long before she became a household name, Betty dabbled in theater, radio, and modeling. But when World War II broke out, she put her ambitions on hold and joined the American Women's Voluntary Services. Her days were spent delivering supplies in PX trucks through the winding roads of the Hollywood Hills, while her nights came alive with spirited dances thrown to send off soldiers preparing for deployment. Reflecting on those surreal times, Betty told Cleveland Magazine, "It was a strange time and out of balance with everything." Even then, her wit and charm shone through. Betty's love life, much like her career, had its share of twists and turns. Known for her bawdy humor, she also had a romantic streak that led to her first marriage in 1945 to U.S. Army pilot E. Dick Barker. The marriage, which Betty candidly admitted was motivated by their desire to sleep together, lasted just 6 months, most of which, she joked, they spent in bed. Her second marriage, to talent agent Lane Allen, ended when he pushed her to give up her career aspirations. But it was her third husband, game show host Alan Ludden, who was the love of her life. Their enduring partnership became one of Hollywood's most beloved romances, proving that sometimes the third time really is the charm. She started as an assistant at a local television station, cutting her teeth in the early days of the medium. In the 1950s, she co-created and starred in her first series, Life with Elizabeth, a sitcom she developed with writer George Tibbles. He wrote and I produced, Betty recalled to The Hollywood Reporter, proudly noting that she was one of the first women producers in Hollywood. In 1950, she made history as one of the first women nominated for an Emmy in the Female Performer category. But Betty didn't stop there. With her show Life with Elizabeth, she became one of the first women in Hollywood to have full creative control over her own series. This accomplishment not only showcased her comedic brilliance, but also her determination to create opportunities in an industry dominated by men. Her groundbreaking work earned her the honorary title of Mayor of Hollywood in 1955, a nod to her influence and status as a true industry leader. Betty's charisma wasn't limited to sitcoms. She also became a beloved presence at some of America's most iconic parades. From 1962 to 1971, she co-hosted the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade alongside Bonanza star Lorne Greene, bringing her warmth and humor to millions of viewers. But perhaps her longest-running parade gig was as a color commentator for the Tournament of Roses parade, a role she held from 1956 to 1976. Over 2 decades, Betty became a staple of the annual New Year's tradition, making every broadcast feel like a celebration. While Betty achieved countless milestones in her career, her personal life was equally rich, even without biological children. After 2 childless marriages, Betty married the love of her life, Alan Ludden, who came into the marriage with 3 children of his own. Betty embraced her role as a stepmother wholeheartedly, often describing her stepchildren as one of the greatest blessings in her life. Her perspective on family was one of inclusion, love, and gratitude, values that resonated with her fans and friends alike. When speaking with Oprah Winfrey at age 93, Betty candidly revealed that her biggest regret was waiting a year before accepting the marriage proposal of Alan Ludden, her late husband and the love of her life. The couple spent 18 wonderful years together before Alan passed away from stomach cancer in 1981. Reflecting on that year of hesitation, Betty said she regretted wasting time that could have been spent with Alan, describing him as the most significant part of her life. She was initially considered for the role of the seductive Blanche Devereaux on The Golden Girls, 1985, but producers felt it would be too similar to her previous role as the bold Sue Ann Nivens on The Mary Tyler Moore Show. Meanwhile, Rue McClanahan, known for playing the timid Vivian on Maude, was considered a better fit for Blanche. The solution? Betty took on the role of the naive and endearing Rose Nyland, while Rue transformed into the vivacious Blanche. Betty's portrayal of Rose Nyland wasn't just a one-time performance. It became an iconic part of her legacy. She played Rose across 4 different TV series: The Golden Girls, The Golden Palace, Nurses, and Empty Nest. The character's sweetness, simplicity, and humor resonated deeply with audiences, cementing Rose as one of the most beloved figures in television history. Interestingly, Betty admitted to having undergone cosmetic surgery before starring in The Golden Girls, even though the show celebrated aging gracefully. Over the span of more than 65 years, Betty won 6 Emmy Awards and earned a remarkable 18 nominations. In 1995, she was inducted into the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences Hall of Fame, a testament to her enduring impact on the industry. Adding to her legacy is her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, placed right next to that of her late husband, Alan Ludden. Betty's love extended beyond people to animals, a cause she championed throughout her life. Her passion for animal welfare was so strong that it influenced the roles she chose. She famously turned down the part of Helen Hunt's mother in As Good as It Gets, 1997, because she couldn't stomach a scene where Jack Nicholson's character pushes a puppy down a laundry chute. For Betty, no role was worth compromising her principles, and her unwavering stance made her an icon, not just in entertainment, but also in the fight for animal rights. When it came to late-night television, Betty was a force to be reckoned with. From being a favorite guest of Tonight Show host Jack Parr to stealing the spotlight during Jay Leno's return to the program, Betty knew how to own a moment. In the opening minute of Leno's comeback episode, she was the first to make fun of NBC itself, because if anyone could pull it off, it was Betty White. Her sharp wit and fearless humor made her a standout in every room she entered. But not all television earned Betty's approval. One genre she made no secret of disliking was reality TV. While she never delved into her reasons, Betty was clear that shows like Jersey Shore wouldn't be making her watch list anytime soon. Her quiet disapproval of reality television only added to her charm, a nod to her traditional roots in storytelling and performance. Betty White's charm wasn't just in her talent, it was in her quirks, her traditions, and her unapologetic love for life's little pleasures. One of her favorite indulgences? Hot dogs. A true Hollywood staple, Betty was a regular at Pink's Hot Dogs, an iconic restaurant in Los Angeles. In her honor, Pink's added the Betty White naked dog to their menu, served exactly the way she liked it. No condiments, no toppings, just the hot dog in its purest form. Because sometimes, simple really is better. When she wasn't delighting in a classic hot dog, Betty loved a good game of poker. She hosted regular poker nights with a group of close friends, playing dealer's choice, with her favorite game being humorously called Screw Thy Neighbor. The stakes? A brass cup engraved with the words Pico Poker Club, which was taken home by the evening's winner until the next round. It wasn't just about the game, it was about camaraderie, laughter, and keeping traditions alive with the people she cherished most. Even Betty's name has its own charming story. While many might assume Betty is short for Elizabeth, it's actually her given name. Her parents, wanting to avoid nicknames like Liz, Beth, or Lizzie, decided to name her Betty outright. It's a fitting choice for someone who was anything but ordinary. Betty's name, like her personality, was perfectly her own. And after a long day of work or play, Betty knew how to unwind. Her go-to ritual? A pre-dinner cocktail. For Betty, a drink in the evening wasn't just a habit. It was a moment to relax and savor the simple joys of life. Betty White wasn't just a beloved entertainer. She was a fierce advocate for equality, a master of witty one-liners, and an icon of unapologetic confidence. Her views on gay rights were as progressive as they were heartfelt. Betty believed that love was love, plain and simple. She once said that if a couple has been together for a long time, she couldn't understand why anyone would object to them getting married. It doesn't concern them, so why are they so against it? She questioned. Her unwavering support for LGBTQ+ rights made her an ally long before it became mainstream, proving once again that Betty was ahead of her time. And then there was her cheeky sense of humor, especially when it came to Robert Redford. Betty had no qualms about admitting her admiration for the Hollywood heartthrob. In one of her most memorable confessions, she joked, "My answer to anything under the sun, like, what have you not done in the business that you've always wanted to do, is Robert Redford." Leave it to Betty to turn a simple question into a laugh-out-loud moment. Betty's candidness didn't stop there. When asked if age affects sexual desire, she delivered one of her classic zingers. Does desire melt away with age? I'm waiting for that day to come. She added with her signature wit, sexual desire is like aging. A lot of it is up here, pointing to her head. Betty's ability to blend humor with honesty made her a relatable and refreshing voice for generations. But perhaps one of the most hilariously surreal moments in Betty's later years came after her now famous 2010 Super Bowl Snickers commercial. The ad reignited her popularity, leading to some truly wild tributes, including a magazine cover design from Oregon featuring Betty in a metal bikini, waving a flaming chainsaw and riding a centaur with John Ritter's head. It was absurd, hilarious, and somehow totally fitting for a woman who always embraced the unexpected. In 2010, at the age of 88, Betty became the oldest person to host Saturday Night Live. But this iconic gig almost didn't happen. Betty turned producer Lorne Michaels down not once, but 3 times before finally agreeing. She admitted the show was challenging, but when she took the stage, she delivered a performance that was equal parts hilarious and heartfelt. Her hosting stint beat out the previous record held by Miskell Spillman, who hosted at 80 in 1977. Betty's SNL moment wasn't just a highlight of her career. It was a reminder that she could steal the spotlight at any age. For someone who aged so gracefully, you might think Betty followed a strict health regimen. But according to her Hot in Cleveland co-star Jane Leeves, Betty's secret to longevity had nothing to do with kale smoothies or green juice. Instead, her diet was delightfully relatable. Red vines, hot dogs, French fries, and Diet Coke. As Leaves joked, maybe she's preserved because of all the preservatives. Leave it to Betty to defy convention and make us laugh while doing it. Her talents didn't stop at acting. Betty was also an accomplished writer with 6 books to her name. Her favorite author? None other than L. Frank Baum, the man behind The Wizard of Oz. She adored his magical storytelling, which inspired the beloved 1939 film. In 2011, she published her latest book, If You Ask Me, and of course you won't, a collection of witty observations and heartfelt musings that showcased her signature humor and wisdom. In 2011, a poll of 2,000 Americans revealed that Betty was the most trusted celebrity in the nation. Her authenticity, charm, and decades-long presence in people's lives made her someone audiences believed in, both on and off the screen. Even more impressively, 44% of those surveyed admitted they would be more likely to support a company or product simply because it was associated with Betty. That's the kind of influence that most celebrities can only dream of, and Betty achieved it at over 90 years. While she preferred the tactile pleasure of writing longhand, Betty proved she could dominate the digital age too. When her Twitter account launched, she amassed an astounding 118,000 followers within just 24 hours, a feat that speaks volumes about her enduring popularity. Over time, that number soared to 1.3 million, solidifying her status as not just a Hollywood legend, but a social media sensation as well. When she met President Barack Obama at the White House in 2012, she spent half an hour with the presidential dog Bo on her lap. For Betty, animals were always a priority, and when asked what she'd do if show business hadn't worked out, her answer was instant: zookeeper. It's a role she would have excelled in, though it was sadly unavailable to women when she was growing up. Betty wasn't just a queen of sitcoms, she was also a master of pranks. In Betty White's Off Their Rockers, she hosted a hidden camera show that flipped the script on age stereotypes, featuring a group of spirited seniors pulling hilarious pranks on unsuspecting younger generations. The show became a hit. Betty's sharp comedic timing and natural rapport with her cast earned her an Emmy nomination in 2012. Even in her 90s, she continued to prove that comedy knows no age limit. Her remarkable career was officially recognized in 2014 when Guinness World Records awarded her the title of longest TV career for an entertainer, female, marking over 70 years in the industry. Betty's journey began in 1939, the same year as British TV legend Bruce Forsyth, who held the equivalent male title. Betty White passed away on December 31, 2021, at the age of 99, just weeks shy of her 100th birthday. Her representative, Jeff Whitjus, shared, "I don't think Betty was afraid of death. She always wanted to be with her beloved husband, Alan Ludden. She believed that the two would be reunited again." It was a touching tribute to a woman who lived her life with an unshakable optimism and profound love. According to her death certificate, Betty suffered a stroke 6 days before her passing. The condition, caused by a loss of blood flow to the brain due to clots or ruptured vessels, marked the end of an extraordinary life. Yet even in her final days, Betty's enduring spirit was evident. Just weeks earlier, she had announced a film project to celebrate her milestone birthday, Betty White, 100 Years Young, a birthday celebration. The documentary, planned for release in more than 900 theaters across the U.S. on January 17, 2022, was a tribute to her incredible legacy. Directed by Steve Butcher and Mike Trinkling, the film delves into Betty's personal life, career, and philanthropic endeavors, featuring heartwarming footage of her birthday celebration. Among the star-studded guest list were Ryan Reynolds, Tina Fey, Robert Redford, Lin-Manuel Miranda, Clint Eastwood, Morgan Freeman, Jay Leno, and Carol Burnett, reflecting the love and admiration Betty inspired in those around her. Betty's career, spanning more than 75 years. She earned an impressive array of accolades, including 7 Emmy Awards, 3 American Comedy Awards, 3 Screen Actors Guild Awards, and even a Grammy. Her name is immortalized with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and she received the Disney Legend Award in 2009. Betty was also inducted into the Television Walk of Fame in 1995, and in 2010 she was honored with the Screen Actors Guild's prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award. Betty White's life was a shining example of grace, humor, and perseverance. From redefining women's roles in television to her heartfelt advocacy for animal welfare, she showed us how one person can make a difference in countless lives. Though we said goodbye to her in 2021, her light continues to shine through her work, her laughter, and her unforgettable legacy. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Until next time, take care and remember to keep smiling, just as Betty would have wanted.